My daughter thought I didn't notice when she slipped that strange powder into my soup. But I saw everything. The way her hand hesitated for a fraction too long, the tiny tremor in her wrist. When she turned her back, I quietly switched our bowls. In her mind, she had built the perfect trap. In reality, I thought I had turned it against her. But I couldn't have been more wrong. Before we continue, make sure you're subscribed and let me know in the comments what time it is where you're watching. The pain hit like a hammer to the gut. My knees buckled, and I crashed onto the cold kitchen floor, my hands pressed against my stomach, trying in vain to hold back the agony tearing through me. Sweat poured down my face, even though the chill from the evening air seeped through the window cracks. "Dad!" Teresa's voice cut through my gasps. "What's happening?" I tried to answer, but only managed a strangled groan. The pain twisted deeper, like claws ripping through my insides. My vision blurred, but through the haze I caught her face hovering above me. "Something's wrong," I rasped. "Feels like my stomach's ripping apart." She dropped to her knees beside me, her hands fluttering uselessly. "You look terrible, Dad. Your face is gray." Her voice carried concern, but something in it felt wrong, almost eager. She pressed her palm against my forehead with clinical precision. "You're burning up. When did this start?" "An hour ago," I groaned, bracing against the counter. "Right after lunch. That sandwich you made." Her eyes widened. Maybe the turkey was spoiled. I should have checked the date. The refrigerator hummed steadily. The clock in the hallway ticked like a hammer in my skull. I studied her face, searching for the truth she wouldn't say. "Let me make you something light," she said, with a smile stretched too wide. "Soup. It'll be easy on your stomach." "Thanks, sweetheart," I said automatically, fatherly reflexes kicking in. Her smile didn't waver. "Of course, Dad," but her eyes, too bright, too calculating. The same look she wore as a teenager when she tried to convince me she'd been at the library, though I knew she hadn't. Still, I was too weak. Too drained to question the unease gnawing at me. Evening light slanted through the kitchen window, stretching shadows across the linoleum. Family photos lined the wall, birthdays, graduations, Christmas mornings, moments that now felt distant, as though they belonged to someone else. "I need to lie down," I whispered. "Good idea," she replied, her voice pitched a little too high. "Rest. I'll make you something special. You'll feel better after you eat." As I dragged myself toward the stairs, I caught her reflection in the window. The smile was gone. Her face was cold, determined. Every instinct screamed danger. 30 years in the army had trained me to listen to those instincts. But this was Teresa, my daughter. The little girl who used to curl against me during thunderstorms. I forced myself up 13 steps that felt like a mountain, collapsed onto my bed, the mattress creaking under my weight. Dusk painted the street outside in amber and gray. On my nightstand, Margaret's photograph smiled back at me. 10 years since cancer had taken her, and I still reached for her perfume bottle when the world felt heavy. The cool glass steadied me, but unease gnawed at my chest. I had switched the bowls. If Teresa had poisoned my soup, then why was I the one suffering? Something didn't add up. Some must have drifted off. When I woke, the house was quiet except for faint clinking from downstairs, the rhythmic scrape of a spoon against a pot, soup. I crept to the landing, each step heavy, old soldier's habits guiding me even now at the bottom of the stairs. I saw her at the stove, her back to me, one hand stirring, the other pouring from a small vial into the steaming broth. Not spoiled turkey, not a mistake, deliberate. My heart pounded not from fear, but from betrayal, Teresa. My voice rasped through the silence. She froze, shoulders stiffening. Slowly she turned. That too bright smile stretched across her face again, but her eyes betrayed her. "You should be resting, Dad. What are you doing?" "Making you dinner." "I saw you," I said, my voice low, both times. Her mask cracked. Then she laughed, soft and broken. "You were always too observant. Why?" My voice barely carried. Her smile twisted into something darker. "Do you even know what it was like, growing up in this house after Mom died? You buried yourself in your army memories and left me in silence. I needed you, but you were gone." My chest tightened. "Teresa, And do you remember Mom's life insurance? Her voice sharpened. Do you even know where it went? You squandered it, Dad. All her sacrifice wasted. Now look at you, old, weak, still clinging to discipline that couldn't save your family. Maybe it's better if I take what's left. Maybe it's better if you... She didn't finish, because I moved. The soldier in me, the part I thought had died with the past, reacted. I lunged, knocking the ladle from her hand. It clattered across the tile. The vial slipped from her fingers, shattering. A bitter stench filled the kitchen. For a heartbeat, we just stared. Father and daughter, separated by a chasm too wide to cross. Then she ran. I grabbed her wrist before she reached the door. She clawed at me, her nails tearing at my skin. "Teresa!" I panted, holding on despite my failing strength. "It ends here." Her eyes burned with fury. "You don't understand. That pain in your stomach, it wasn't the soup. It was the sandwich. I planned it all." Her words froze my blood. I had never been in control. The strength drained from me, and I collapsed, dragging her down with me. She tore free, standing over me, her face twisted with rage and grief. "You should have let me go years ago," she whispered. And then... Sirens. Red and blue lights flared against the windows. A neighbor must have heard the shouting. Teresa froze. Her defiance crumbled, leaving only a hollow shell. When the officers burst in, they found her kneeling beside me, tears streaking her face. The broken vial glittered on the floor like shattered glass dreams. Later in the hospital, the doctors told me the dose wasn't fatal, just enough to ravage my body. Teresa was led away in handcuffs, her face pale and empty. I stared at the ceiling, wondering where I had gone wrong, how the little girl I once carried on my shoulders had become this stranger. I had survived battlefields overseas. I had stared down enemies, armed with guns and hate, but nothing had ever hurt like this. Because this enemy had called me Dad.